All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to A Spirited Endeavor. I'm Mark,
And I'm Russ.
and we are experiencing some amazing Scottish weather today.
Yes, we are. Seems appropriate considering the subject.
For sure.
Uh,
Yeah, we're exploring an island whiskey tonight from Bruichladdich, one of our favorites, and we've done a few of these on our on previous episodes, and this is just a very very special bottle. We're only going to be talking about the one tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be a hell of a one, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. As we've experienced in past episodes, the Bruichladdich and the Port Charlotte have brought just amazing things to the table,
Yeah.
and these whiskeys are all of a thought that age doesn't mean everything.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And that's something that we've kind of learned as we've progressed through this journey is that the age doesn't necessarily give you what we've all kind of come to expect necessarily.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that goes into a whiskey than how long it spends in a barrel, and we've seen that in several cases where we've had some older ones that perhaps didn't hold up. We had a 15-year Highland Park that we were both kind of, we liked the 12 better. But on the other hand, every now and then you get one that is older that kind of knocks your socks off. We ran into that last weekend.
Yeah, with the Jura 18 was was pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
So so this one is well, let me give you some specs on it. So this one is it's a 5-year-old whiskey. So it's not been aged very long, but the distillers had a clear vision of what they wanted this to be. So this was distilled in 100% Scottish grown Concerto barley and harvested in 2011 and distilled in 2012. It was matured entirely on Islay for 5 years in American whiskey casks.
Okay.
They used Jim Beam. They used what was this? Jack Daniels, Claremont, Old Grandad.
Interesting.
That's something I haven't heard in a
I
while.
wonder what that's going to impart.
Yeah, but all those casks certainly are going to add some sweetness to this.
I would think so.
I would think so. It's non-chill filtered, color-free, and this one was limited to 42,000 bottles.
Ooh.
Yeah, so and Bruichladdich does that. They'll do limited runs of these whiskeys and of these scotches, and they'll just do a limit. And when they're done, they're done.
Yeah.
And you're lucky to sometimes to pick one of these things up, and like you said, we haven't found one yet that wasn't worthy.
Oh, absolutely. No, they really do set a very high standard. And the other nice thing about them, and the shorter runs goes towards this, is that they're not afraid to experiment. They're not afraid to try something new and push some boundaries a little bit. I mean, look, releasing a 5-year like this, number one, you don't see too many will actually put 5 years. They'll just do a non-age statement. So the fact that they actually put that on the bottle,
And are proud of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And yeah, it is all of the age doesn't necessarily mean that it's better.
right?
So so it really takes a distiller with his hand on the tiller and
Yeah.
really a clear vision.
Agreed. No, I've liked everything else that they've done so far. I expect this will be no different. I will say the packaging is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh my God, yes. I was surprised when we opened up the tube here
Yeah.
and pulled out the bottle, and my God, was that gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean the shape of the bottle is unique. Of course, it being just jet black is unique as well. Matter of fact, show you guys what we've got here. So, if you can see, the text is just slightly reflective with a few pieces highlighted, but it really is just beautiful presentation.
Yeah, it really is.
It's attention to detail.
It really is, and
and-
that's what we found with all of the, even their entry level, the Wee Lottie,
Oh, yeah.
is. I mean, there's a lot of attention in that. They're really putting out a superior product.
There's a limited number of whiskeys that we both own.
Mm-hmm.
Come over here, you'll have something, I'll try it, maybe like it, maybe dislike it, whatever, we review it, and then we go back home, or I go back home. And I've had my stash, you've had your stash, but there've been a couple that we've tried that both of us end up with. Glenmorangie, as well as a few others, and the classic Lottie, their entry level, which compared to anybody else's would be a notch above, is one that we both own for a very good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we're really excited this. We have no idea what this looks like. We have no idea what
Yeah.
the coloring is and everything on this too. It's natural coloring. I would think, you know, with a, you know, a 5-year-old, you know, that it wouldn't have like a deep dark amber color. But I'm wondering if we're going to be surprised by that.
I'm with you. I would suspect this is gonna be darn near clear, but like you said, who knows?
Who knows?
They've been known to surprise us before. I wouldn't be shocked if they did so this time.
Yeah, fabulous. Okay, so this one is 59.1% alcohol by volume. So it's a little stouter than many of the ones
yeah.
we tried.
Yeah.
And they're the nose on it is baked earth, peanut shells, charred oak, and burnt sugar. And it's surprisingly light at first, and then honey, florals, and oily walnut they're describing in this.
That's gotta be
Before
fun.
layers of smoke and wet grass.
Yeah.
So it's going to really have that, you know, that barley flavor. You know, it's going to really be that barley infused dram that we enjoy so much. And then the finish on it is like coastal air chocolate digestives. All right, and dipped in coffee.
That's
So
just-
chocolate and coffee. Yeah, you got me.
Sounds promising.
Absolutely.
Dessert.
Hopefully this is a dessert in a glass.
I'm open.
Yeah.
This one has my curiosity piqued more than most, just because they're, you know, going off of what we've discussed so far. There's 5%, 5 years, 59%. Right off top, I'm thinking this thing's going to be a smack in the face. But on the other hand, they're saying that it's, you know, don't let the age fool you. It's going to be something different. So
Yeah, so it's yeah. I'm curious to see how complex it is, and I mean the description of the nose and the palate on it has really got me curious because I mean certainly we've had some ones that were nutty before, but
Yeah.
yeah.
well, you know, just sitting here thinking, the 5 years is the youngest that's in that bottle. That doesn't mean they didn't take some of their older stuff and mix it in there.
That's a good point.
So, I mean, there may be stuff in here that's significantly older. They're just labeling it at 5 because they have some younger spirit in there. I wonder, I guess we're going to find out.
I guess we're gonna find out.
Huh.
I think we should find out.
Yeah, let's do that.
All
I'm
right.
curious about the color too.
Yeah, I am too.
See if we're right on that. Now, you'll notice we do break the seal on these beforehand. That's just to make sure we, well, I say we, in this case, me. I didn't go and screw it up on camera. That way I can screw it up off camera. So it does appear to be nice color actually for the age.
Yeah, for sure. It's more of like a honey.
Yeah,
Like a honey.
it's light, but it's not as light as I expected.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's got a beautiful color. That's a sort of like a honey lemon
Yeah.
color. There you go.
I like the oils. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's very
Look at
oily.
that line.
I know. Oh my god. So, so when we swirled it around the glass, it just left a line of oils in this.
Yeah, that's neat. I like that. That's probably one of the oilier whiskeys I've seen.
Which is going to lead me to believe that it's going to cling to the palate a little bit.
I would think. I bet that the flavor lingers long after you've swallowed it.
Yeah.
Wow, that is thick.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know if I can get this on camera for you guys, but I mean, it is just stunning how thick the oils are.
All right. Ooh, peat. Peat.
Yep, right up front.
Yeah, there's a lot of peat in that glass. You can tell that, and they advertise this one as heavily peated.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's not much of a surprise, and it's pleasant peat.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's floral. Yeah. Lost my eyedropper here.
There is I definitely get like a sweetness to it and there's a sweetness that goes with the younger whiskey, and I pick up just little bits of that.
It is sweet, and you know what I'm getting in that is I am getting that burnt sugar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it really does have that like caramelized sugar
It's not
note
heavy,
to it.
it's not dark, it's nice, it's light. You know, we've had those peated whiskeys from Islay where it's just dark and heavy, and this is something that's a lot lighter than I would have expected.
Yeah, absolutely, but still carries that nice peated note.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is just gorgeous.
All right. Well, the proof is in the tasting.
Indeed.
Mm.
Yeah, it's young.
It is
no
young.
doubt it's young. Oh, wow.
A little spicy.
Yeah,
Great
there's
peat flavor. Oh my word.
great peat, and I get more of that sweetness on the tongue. And yeah, there's a little, the alcohol's pretty forward on this one. Not uncomfortably so. You know, it's a burn on my tongue towards the sides more than anything else.
Right.
I'm not
Oh,
getting it
yeah.
on the throat or anything like that.
Again, a little tip, a little on the
Yeah.
on the sides, and then it's pretty smooth through the rest of the.
Agreed. I was
through the
really
rest of the
expecting
swallow.
this was just going to be tough on the throat.
And it's
At
just not.
No. 5-year, 59%, you'd think this would be a little rough, but it's not at all.
Oh wow, that is delicious. You get a little brininess on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, it really does represent Islay well as far as what it brings to the table with the peat and the brine, but there is that youth and the sweetness that goes with it is present.
There's some complex notes in there too.
Yeah,
I think you could spend an evening trying to unlock this one.
I agree.
I think we may spend an evening trying to unlock this one.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I'm trying to figure out what I'm getting on the exhale.
Alcohol. Yeah. Yeah, that one caught me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a tame whiskey. It's not what I would consider smooth. The burn for me is not bad, but there is a lot of vapor that goes with it.
Yeah.
I notice after I swallow, I can exhale and you catch the vapors up in your sinuses.
Yeah, and that just happened for me, and I was like, ooh.
And the interesting thing about that is I'm picking up other flavors with that I can't quite put a name to it.
You know, I'm kind of getting that those chocolate coffee notes on the back end of this. I didn't pick it up at first, but it's on the second swallow, it's there.
The coffee I get more than the chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, and it wouldn't be a strong chocolate. I mean, it's
No.
yeah, just like
It's
something,
nice.
Something dipped in chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, if you're looking for a quick, easy dram, this isn't it.
No.
Not at all.
No, this is one you're gonna sit down in front of a fire or in the middle of a hurricane,
Yeah.
and you're gonna try to figure this one out.
Yeah. This one's an experience in a glass. This is one that you can actually spend some time with. It's not going to be boring. I mean, at our level, with the number that we've tried, I don't find it especially challenging, but if somebody was just coming into this, I could see where this might be off-putting.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I actually had a conversation with, I went to Turtle Creek today, and I actually picked up a sister to this one. And I was having a chat with the clerk behind the counter, and she was telling me that she had tried Scott. She wanted to know what this was, first of all. And I explained it to her. And then she said, well, here, I tried Scotch and didn't really like it. And we got into a little bit of a conversation and saying you probably tried the wrong one. And you may just not like Scotch. I mean, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, the best whiskey is the one you're drinking. But but you know, she may have been exposed to the wrong one. I recommended, you know, trying the Glenmorangie G12.
Good call.
You know, it's a great entry level. You know, it's not, you know, it's complex and there's a bunch to figure out in there, but it's sweet and it's caramely butterscotch, and
Smooth.
smooth, and it's a good introductory whiskey.
Yeah.
And then after you try a few of these, then you can start learning to appreciate this. I mean, you got to get exposed to the
Yeah,
Islas.
you've got to work up to it.
You got to work up to it. You get exposed to the Islas and start, get some highlands, get some Speysides, get some lowlands,
Yeah.
and it's really going to help develop your palate.
Absolutely. And that does happen. I mean, we've been talking about it, and I've talked with our counterpart, Henry, that you start, as we've gone through this journey, I'm definitely picking up things that I wouldn't have picked up otherwise, flavors that I wouldn't have picked up in anything, aromas that I wouldn't have picked up before. I'm more in tune to that sort of thing, and I guess I'm paying closer attention to it, and I'm more willing to slow down a little bit and enjoy that aspect of a meal or a beverage or something of that nature.
Yeah, I agree. I found that sort of, going through this journey and trying these whiskeys has really changed a lot of how I approach food and drink, and there's pleasure to be had in these things, and they're just, you just got to take the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And taking the time with a good bottle of whiskey is, I think, time well spent.
Yeah. And this is a good bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna take another sip. Then I want to try this with a drop of water.
I think it's a good idea.
God, I dig that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm not picking up is the grass. I do not feel. I'm not picking up that that grassiness. We've picked it up on several scotches, where it really does have that wet grass taste to it, and this is not there.
This one. I'm not even picking up much of what I would call barley, or that grainy kind of note. Nothing that stands out anyhow.
Yeah, and I'm also not getting that oily walnut.
No, I'm not getting that either. But the chocolate and
chocolate notes, the coffee notes.
definitely got that. That was pretty easy to find. There is a nice sweetness that goes with it, probably due in large part to its youth. And the percentage of alcohol probably has a lot to do with that too.
Yeah, this is stout, and it tastes stout. I mean, this is
it doesn't mask it.
you get all 59.1 of those ABVs in this glass.
So that's knocking on 120 proof. So yeah,
nice.
That's stout.
That is
so
stout.
Proof is basically double the ABV.
Exactly. No,
And
that's it exactly.
That's damn.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
curious about that water.
Yeah. Let's add just a little bit more to the.
I'm down with that.
Sorry, that was a little stout pour.
Oh damn.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be rough. I've got a spousal unit with me just in case. So.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I actually, it was like 2 drops of water. But
That's a fair amount in there, so it could probably stand it. Just curious to see if there's any clouding as a result of that, but I'm not seeing it.
No clouding.
I just
It
can't
still
get
has a
over the
beautiful
oils.
honey lemon color. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. The oils are still there. That didn't do anything to that.
yeah.
Oh man, did that mellow out the nose?
Holy cow, you're not kidding.
Yeah, just a good drop of water in that, and that really.
Yeah.
Normally, it brings the oils up front, and brings it to the top of the glass, and you can pick up more complex notes in that. But this one just sort of tamped that down.
Well, and we've noticed on a few of them lately where it brought forth a lot of that oak influence. I'll be curious to see what we get in that regard, but yeah, on the nose, it was pretty strong on the nose originally, and it just brought that down probably a good couple of notches.
That completely changed the flavor.
It did. It's still got that bite.
A little bit. It really is bringing out the sweetness.
I
And
agree.
It didn't up the spice.
And that's the part that kind of surprised me, because we've seen that in the past where that barrel spice just gets amplified by putting the water in there. That didn't seem to happen with this one.
No, I'm catching a nice warmth on it too. That really just sort of radiates in my chest right
Yeah.
now. That's nice.
Yeah, it really took that nose down quite a bit.
It really did. Well, it kind of evened it out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not catching as much of the alcohol burn.
I agree.
I think I'm picking up more of the coffee notes in that and
Yeah.
less of the chocolate. Yeah, no, still not picking up any barley or wet grass or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm not catching those alcohol vapors on the back either.
No, what I like about that is now I'm getting more of that sweetness in place of it. I think the vapors that I was getting before were kind of hiding that.
Yeah.
And now that those have been brought down a notch, I'm definitely picking up more of those sweet notes.
Yeah, this one benefits from a drop of water.
Yeah. Well, in this one, I think, I don't know that I'd do it, but I think it could hold up to an ice cube. I think you could probably throw a little water in here and be perfectly fine. There is plenty going on in this glass to put up with it.
Mm. Yeah, I think so. Some stones in this might be nice too.
I agree. That would be a really good way of doing it.
That would be a really good way of doing it. Put a drop of water and drop a couple of stones
Yeah.
in there, excuse me, to chill it out a little bit. I think it would benefit from that.
I agree. That's very unique. I don't think we've had anything quite like this one.
No.
I don't think we've had anything anywhere near this one, actually.
All I gotta say is that the distiller that had this as a vision is a freaking genius.
Yeah. No, it's very unique. While it has certain aspects or qualities that we've had in other ones with the peat and the smoke and stuff of that nature, the way they've handled it and the flavors that go with it are very different.
Right.
And I have to say, the 5 years, I think most of what's in that bottle is probably 5 years. I don't think there's much in the way of older whiskeys there. So I think the age statement, yeah, it's probably, most of it's dead on 5 years. I wouldn't change it though.
No,
I think
I
what
don't.
the youth brings is really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So this one's a little pricier than others that we've tried. This is about $200 a bottle, but I highly recommend if you come across them, you got a little coins, burning in your pocket, it would be well worth putting this one in your bar.
And while the Laddie, the classic Laddie, which is that teal bottle that we've reviewed before, isn't really smoky or peaty or anything of that nature, it's a good entry level into a whiskey that's got good complexity, and they're pretty reasonably priced. I think we spent like 50 or 60 bucks on a bottle, and I'll be honest with you, for what you get in that bottle, that's a damn good price. But it's a good entry point to something that's got some complexity to it. If you find that you like that, move up this way.
Absolutely.
Treat yourself, because this takes that complexity and that quality and definitely bumps it up a notch and moves it in a bit of a different direction.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And one thing that we found with the Bruichladdich especially, I mean, and we've talked about like artisanal whiskeys and the distillers really having a vision and all that, and all of that is absolutely the truth. But when trying one has inevitably led to another. And whether it was the Port Charlotte, which is heavily peated, Bruichladdich, which are not, they're not peated at all, which is really interesting for an Isla. There's the two paths to be had,
Oh, yeah.
and this one now is like a third path to be had.
No, you're absolutely right. The sitting here thinking, this reminds me a bit of the compass box that we had, not the most recent one that you picked up.
Oh, not the hedonism, but the first one.
Yeah, and I can't remember
The legends, myth and legends.
There is something about the flavor that I'm getting out of this that reminds me of that Swedish kind of, I wouldn't say fruity, but bordering on that.
Yeah, it's not fruity. It's more floral than fruity.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But this, it's, for whatever reason, it kind of struck me. It reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Really tasty. Really, really tasty.
Mm.
Yeah, he's rating it, I think.
I'm glad we dressed for it.
That's right, yeah. Dress
Yeah.
for the job, they say.
So
Just in
Yeah.
case we spill.
exactly. So yeah, we're dressing to be meteorologists apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another point too. Is we've found some more expensive whiskeys
Mhm.
that I don't know if the price was completely justified on that.
I would agree with that. There have been surprises on both ends of the spectrum, where you buy something less expensive and you get a lot more out of that bottle than you expect, and then we've had some where they were a bit more, and it's like, tough times.
Yeah. So this I think is worth every penny.
I would agree. This is a unique enough experience, and look, it's quality. You can taste it, you can see it. The attention to detail is worth something, and I feel that in this case, yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly. This is a good one to have on the shelf.
Actually, is this the one that has the code?
I think they all do.
I think they all do. Now, what's really cool about Bruichladdich is every bottle has a code on it, and I'm seeing if this has one. I don't see one, but certainly in the other ones we've tried, they all have a code on there, and you can see everything that has gone into the bottle, into making it. The proportion of the oak casks, what was involved in that, where the barley was grown.
Yeah, I mean, right down to the plot of land, the farm specifically that
It does have a code. Yep, it's just very faint on there, but it does have a code. So that we're gonna have to check that out.
Yeah,
And kind of
because
see.
even with a single malt, there's variability, and they can blend other single malts that they have in barrels, provided they come from the same distillery, and it's still considered a single malt. So there is so much variability, and what they do is basically give you a code on the back of the bottle on all their stuff. From what we've seen, you can go on their website, plug that code in, it tells you the entire history of that particular bottle, what batch it's from, what casks were used, where the grain was from, as in which farm. Just tons of details, and I love the transparency.
Yeah, what's nice is they do pick up all of their barley is all Scottish barley. It's all Islay barley.
That's
in fact,
impressive. By
which is
itself.
impressive. There's several farms of on the Islay, and they buy exclusively from those farms.
Yeah. And Islay being an island, that particular climate isn't really well suited. There isn't a lot of flat land out there. It's a lot of cliffs, it's a lot of hills, stuff of that nature. So the number of farms and the amount of barley that you can get from Islay by itself isn't as much as what you can get on the mainland.
That's an interesting point. I'm wondering if that is what the limitation on the runs of the whiskeys are.
Sure.
It's that harvest, that barley.
There's only 2 distilleries I know of that focus primarily on Islay barley. Most of them bring it in from the mainland. And a lot of other ones, primarily Highlands, will bring it in from outside the country. So where you see a distillery bragging that they're using Scottish barley, that's a big deal, because it's a lot cheaper to source from outside the country in many cases, because again, the land that's available for it is not as easy to find.
Yeah, Scotland is a wee bit craggly.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Matter of fact, imagine if we go there, we're going to be dressed a lot like this, with good hiking boots.
With good hiking boots. This has been amazing journey on this one.
And the longer we sit with this, I'm picking up other things.
I know. It's
really cool. I'm getting a little bit of the, what would that be? Not vanilla so much, but more like a
like
toffee kind
toffee,
of.
caramel, burnt sugar.
Yeah, absolutely. Burnt sugar.
Yeah, that's they describe that well, because I really do get that note in this.
Yeah, really enjoyable.
All right.
So let's see what we've got here. First off, thanks to everybody for joining us tonight.
We love that. We love everyone that checks out our videos and will join us live and give us some commentary. It really does mean that we feel like we're connecting with you, and we certainly enjoy the commentary, and we certainly want to hear from you and what you're drinking, and if you want to just tell us that we're a bunch of idiots or whatever, we're down with all of that.
And that's not a new experience for us, by the way.
We're good at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, at the end of the day, we hope you're having a good time. I know we are. It's been a hell of an experience, and certainly a really interesting journey, and I continue to enjoy it day by day. Scott Cunningham says he's aged. I too am aged. Matter of fact, I fart dust frequently.
Yep, I think Scott and I have aged in the about the same amount of time.
Oh, okay. I think we're all pretty similar ages. Let's see here. Looks like my spousal unit was in there trying to stir things up a little bit. That's a new experience.
That never happens. Yeah, Scott, thanks for joining. Tom, some of our friends
and Jason.
Jason, yeah,
he's been a regular as of late, and that's appreciated.
Yeah, we love that you guys join us on this.
Yeah,
hopefully, let us know what you're drinking. I mean, we get some recommendations from you.
Yeah, and I mean, if you've tried something that we've tried, let us know what you thought of it. At the end of the day, this is about more than us. We want this to be a bit bigger than that. We're hoping that we're kind of the catalyst. But ultimately, the goal is for other people to find the kind of enjoyment that we're finding, whether it's through Scotch or through something else. But it's about experiencing what's in the glass, not just slamming alcohol, enjoying it, and just feeling what went into it.
Absolutely. So, what are we going to do next week?
Well, that's a good question. I think I have a bottle I'd like to bring over that is a bit reminiscent of this, not quite to that level, but I think you might find some similarities. So we'll leave it a little bit of a surprise, but I will say it is another Islay, and they are a farm. So it is a farm on Islay that grows their own barley, and that's all they use in their whiskeys. So no color added, no chill filtered. They're real big on everything being as organic as possible, and it is a non-age statement, so it is a bit young, similar to this one, but I think that would make an interesting counterpoint to this one, to see how it handles its youth versus this one.
Right, and what I'm going to bring to the table next week is a reverse Scotch.
I like where you're going.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's an American whiskey that's aged in Scotch barrels.
Good idea.
So I'm really there again. It's heavily peated.
Mm-hmm.
It's a peated American whiskey aged in Scotch Islay. In fact, Islay barrels.
Yeah, that's the interesting part.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, because normally that goes the other direction. So the Scottish distilleries will actually build barrels out of oak, American oak in most cases, ship them to the United States and lease them to our distilleries here. And then when the distilleries here are done using them, they then ship them back and they use them to make Scotch. So this is an interesting spin on that.
Yeah, it's the very reverse. So it's just like what Scotland does, and we're doing it here in America. So I'm really excited, and that was a really interesting find. I'm really curious to see how that one's going to come out, because that's also made with American barley.
And that's, so do you remember the age on that one? Because it's aged here in the U.S., so that means the temperature is obviously the extremes.
I think it's aged for a year.
So that's that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I don't think the age statement on that was really high.
No, I don't think so.
But here in the U.S., I mean, our temperature fluctuations, really make a huge difference. So if you age something here in the U.S., we have the high highs, the low lows, and that really affects, it can really accelerate the aging process of the whiskey.
Yeah, it imparts color and flavors very quickly here in the U.S. You still get that young alcohol, but you get young alcohol that acts older than what it is because of that color and those flavors. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what they brought to the table.
Yeah, for sure. So I think putting up against an Isle is the right thing to do.
I think that's a really good idea, considering, I mean, they're both using barrels from the same location. Yeah,
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, it's a really fun idea, and I'm excited to do that one. And maybe we can get Henry to join us too.
I hope so.
Yeah, hopefully he'll hopefully we'll figure that out and get the technology to work with us.
Yeah, perhaps a little better than last time.
Maybe a little better
We've
than
got
last
some
time.
bugs to work out there.
Yeah, we're still figuring stuff out.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, we're better with whiskey than we are with technology.
All right. All right. Well, I think that's it for tonight,
I
guys.
think that covers it. Just
All
the
right.
one whiskey tonight for a change, and I gotta say, it was deserving of the time and attention.
Absolutely, it sure was. We really enjoyed having you guys out here with us, and let us know what you're drinking, as I said, and we certainly want to hear from you. So please, drop us some notes, and we're anxious to hear from you. We have a YouTube page now.
Yes. So what we're doing is we're taking our live feeds that we've done and basically doing some minor tweaking for time and stuff of that nature, and posting them up on YouTube. And it looks like we're going to start doing some YouTube specific stuff as well. We're working on that, and we'll keep you posted. But as we move in that direction, we'll make sure to put it up on Facebook so everybody's aware that it's going on. But I think it gives us another avenue to kind of explore.
Absolutely. So we're gonna probably change up the format just a little bit to concentrate on one whiskey, and just do a quick 15-minute review on it, and and then we'll of course continue to do these live events, because we really enjoy just spending time with you guys and enjoying and sitting down and having some conversations. Maybe we'll turn a couple of these into a little philosophical, but but we really enjoy this.
Yeah, it's been a hoot, and we definitely have to thank you guys for taking part in it. It means a lot. It makes it a hell of a lot more fun seeing the comments. You guys all seem to have similar sense of humor and maturity levels, or lack thereof, should I say? And it makes it a hell of a lot of fun for us. So hopefully you're enjoying it.
Okay, guys. All right. Well, have a great night,
Yeah.
and we loved everybody.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
gonna finish off the rest of my night.
Yeah, we're gonna. I think we're gonna drink a little more of this.
I think that might happen.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.